It's also an opportunity to kind of notice how we are moment to moment. And we are so lucky that coming in the tradition of the historical Buddha, we're not obligated to try to manufacture some kind of rigid, tight, special state of meditation or some kind of calm that can't be disturbed, like a fussy downstairs neighbor. And that the Buddha invites his students to just notice how it is, breath by breath. Sounds from outside this room, sounds from inside this room, sensations, thoughts, and feelings. Everything is welcome here. Our practice is the circle with no edge, and the center is everywhere. Franz's talk today is apparently the third of a 10-part series on the 10 perfections, the Paramitas. You know how much the 2,600-year game of telephone that all of Buddhism is playing, we love our lists, so this is one of them. And thank you for coming in spite of / because of Mother's Day. And I just want to invite you to take a moment, and I'll also do that, just to think about, I think we all know that human relationships are difficult. In spite of whatever difficulties we may have with our mothers or those people in our lives who are like mothers to us, who are forces of nurturing or care, I just want to invite you to bring to mind someone in your life who holds that role as a symbol of mother to you. Of course, I think of my mom, and when thinking about this really amazing and strange and wonderful fact of sentient life on this ball of dirt orbiting a hydrogen star in the left-hand corner of the cosmos at large, it's all owed to others since beginningless time. And of course, I reflecting on the Buddha's mother, Maya Devi, and in a profound example of the way that a mother isn't just someone who gives birth to someone. You may know this already, but the historical Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, his mother, Maya Devi, actually passed away 7 days after his birth. So her sister, Mahapajapati, raised him as her own. So from the very beginning of our tradition, there is an understanding that a mother is someone who cares for and protects and nurtures life. And whether you are genetically related to this person or not, or are they legally, technically their mother or not, this is a profound role that you can play in someone's life and that you can play in your own life. We are all our own mothers and fathers, after all. And then briefly, if any of you are familiar with the Heart Sutra, with the Prajna Paramita literature, this Prajna Paramita, this perfection of wisdom, this concept of profound beginningless emptiness, the Buddha mind that unites us all. In the traditional literature, Mahayana and Vajrayana literature, this is presented as a mother figure. Mahaprajapita, Mahaprajna Paramita is the mother of all the Buddhas, this fathomless wisdom that is before all technique, before all teaching, before any language. So in a sense, all people practicing the Buddha Dharma worship this divine mother that is before and after all things. Of course, the historical Buddha, he loved to use the symbol of a mother. In the Karaniya Metta Sutta, the Buddha mentions, when telling his students how to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, the model, the object he gives is, as a mother cherishes her child, her only child, cherishes and protects her only child, so should one cherish and protect this attitude of loving kindness and compassion for all beings. This is the way the Buddha was like, how am I going to get this across? How crucial this is. This attitude, this orientation of loving kindness and compassion. Ah, I get it. Listen, students, as a mother would cherish and protect her only child, so should you protect this orientation of kindness to others, kindness to yourself, and compassion for all beings. So whether your mother is alive in a form that you would recognize today, whether you are separated from her by time, space, or death, your mother and you eternally are one substance, one flesh. Her experiences, thoughts, feelings, her very cells is part of this incredible, miraculous occurrence that is you. And I invite you into that circle of care for yourself, for those around you, and for all beings, today and every day. If you haven't been here for the previous series, welcome to the third in the series. You know how Buddhists like their lists? You're in one. So this is a list called the Paramita, the 10 Paramitas. Paramita is a great Sanskrit word that basically means perfection, like a quality that can be perfected, but also like a quality that brings perfection. These are 10 qualities of heart and mind that the historical Buddha and teachers after him liked, thought were important, were really beautiful ways of kind of conceptualizing these completely ordinary states of mind and heart that we all have, but that we can actually use in our lives to more clearly embody and integrate this Buddha nature that we all are, to live a flourishing human life. Our guiding teacher, Jokai Roshi, 2 weeks ago, began with generosity, Dana Paramita. This open-handedness that the Buddha was such a huge fan of. In fact, one of the first ways that the Buddha told someone, he was asked, what's Nibbana like, big guy? I hear you had this big awakening experience. What's it like? And one of the first times the Buddha tried to get it across, he just did this. And it's so perfect. Imagine, of course, none of you are like this, but imagine being like this over years in our hearts, in our minds, getting wrapped up tighter and tighter in our habitual compulsive tendencies, and then letting it go. And even just the generosity of spirit of truly being able to meet people. Hello, that's hard for some of us. That's really difficult. To be present in that way is an act of generosity. To give yourself to a relationship, to an experience, to a situation, to yourself. And then last week, Tim Callahan, Judah Pope Sanim, gave a lovely talk on Sila Paramita. This is ethics, most commonly kind of taught or most commonly represented to lay people, householders, as the 5 precepts. I won't go through them, but these are just 5 ways of training that, as the Buddha says, these 5 training platforms, these 5 bases for training make you harmless to other beings, make you a refuge of safety and kindness for yourself and those around you. The Buddha first gave these 5 precepts to his student Dhammika, who asked him, how may a lay person know that they're a follower of you? You may know this, that the Buddha Dharma is made up of monks and nuns and people like me, who are married and have kids and work jobs and do all kinds of stuff. The Buddha's answer was, Dhammika, I give you these 5 gifts, these 5 ancient gifts that make you a gift, a blessing to all beings. These 5 gifts are, you know, pretty ordinary things like don't kill people. Okay, but they can be like everything the Buddha teaches, they go very deep and very subtle. Don't take what's not given. Don't harm others with your sexual energy. Speak only what's true. Don't lose yourself to heedlessness under intoxication. You can imagine what kind of a world this would be if the vast majority of people followed these 5 precepts. And now we find ourselves today. The precept that I'm charged with talking about today is Nekkhamma Paramita. Nekkhamma is generally translated as renunciation. Quick, in the room, when I say the word renunciation, does it sound fun? Not to me, it don't. What do you think of when I say the word renunciation? Shout it out.
Just something up.
Give me something up. Religion, ooh. Deprivation, ooh, God, sacrifice, yee. Right? Same. And I feel like when I was taught this kind of growing up in Indian religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, that was the vibe I got. That my spiritual life would be like this ongoing escalator or ladder of increasing and intensifying sacrifice and being less and less fun till at the very end, I'd be in orange robes with a shaven head and I'd be no fun at all, but I'd be super spiritual all the time. That doesn't show anyone. Doesn't sound fun to me. But I feel like everything the Buddha taught, it can be really helpful to go back to the words he used. Oh, that might be our gate. I'm going to listen if that does that again. I'm going to run out there and stick a wad of toilet paper in there. All right. The word the Buddha used for renunciation is nekkhamma, Nekhamma. The Pali word nekkhamma is a conjunct. Nek means out of, and khamma means to walk or to go. So nekkhamma means to go forth, to go out of, to drop, to move away. This word was very often used for people who would take monastic vows. It's said that the followers of the Buddha would go forth into homelessness. They would go forth into emptiness. They would go forth into liberation, leaving behind what did not serve them anymore. And I feel like that's an important piece that gets lost when we talk about nekkhamma as renunciation. You're not giving up something that serves you and that's good for you. Renunciation, a simple way of thinking about renunciation is letting go of something that doesn't serve you anymore. And this is really important. This is, to me, the whole engine of Buddhist practice as meditation. There's no one in this room who didn't develop some kind of patterning of habit energy, of psychology, of trauma when you were, I don't know, ages 1 to 5, that totally worked ages 1 to 5 and then worked less and less over time. These kind of, again, habitual, compulsive ways of relating to the world under stress that are great for survival and generally terrible for happiness. So one way you could think of this renunciation is things that don't serve you, the energy of dropping it, letting it go, moving out of them. So for instance, right now we're moving and my darling angel wife is doing a fair amount of the packing. And because I have to work on this class, I can't possibly help you. I mean, just what can I do? But one thing she said today, because I made her lunch. That's the deal. I push food at her when she does Herculean tasks. She said, you know what's great about moving is we get to like critique each thing and say, oh, do we need this in the new house? Do we want this? And then we can move from choice. Because something's already in your house and you're not going nowhere. It's basically invisible. Who cares? But if you have to walk it over to the new house, do we have 10 of these? Shh, I've got them in a box in my closet. But that openness, which is so well served, it's basically like the second part of mindfulness, like mindfulness practice, training ourselves to notice what is arising second by second. That's great. What's the next part? Is this serving me? Am I doing a thing? Do I need to do this? Can I drop it? That's the real power of mindfulness. The Buddha calls mindfulness in various places a sentry at the gate, a guard at the gate, watching each thing go through the gate. Sensations, thoughts, feelings, ideas, stories, and knows each thing as it goes, so that the king can say, hey, that guy doesn't get in. We don't want him anymore. He doesn't belong here. This jealousy or this weird, head trip I do whenever someone looks at me funny or whatever it is. That's like, you could see renunciation as like the pointy end of the spear of mindfulness. I feel like renunciation or nekama paramita is one of those things where it seems like every piece of the Buddha Dharma, every piece of the Buddha's teachings can become a lens through which you can understand the entire rest of it. So like for me personally, my whole practice life revolves around loving kindness and compassion. And it really suits me and fuels my practice. And I see everything through that lens, even meditation. To me, all meditation is just a question. Can I meet what is arising with kindness and compassion? And just again and again training in that way. So similarly, renunciation, especially if you find a word or a phrase that works better for you, can be a way to understand your whole spiritual path, the entire Buddha Dharma. So for me, renunciation gets replaced with letting go. And if any of you in the room has heard of the great Thai forest monk Ajahn Chah, that was his whole bag. The number of times Ajahn Chah said to a room full of people, do everything with a heart that lets go. Let go a little, get a little peace. Let go a lot, get a lot of peace. Let go completely, get complete peace. For Venerable Ajahn Chah, that was the lens through which to understand the entire Buddha Dharma.
Hi, I'm Robert Lurie with Long Beach Meditation. Your gracious generosity makes this programming possible. If you found this video to be of value, please consider making a donation here. And if you'd like to watch more videos like this one, click here. And if you want to stay up to date with Long Beach Meditation, click here to subscribe. Thank you.